Hello everybody and welcome back to United Robotics. And today's video we are going to be talking about the game versus Bournemouth. That's Manchester United's preseason US tour game against Bournemouth. So last game against West Ham went pretty well. You saw that the tactical display that I showed you in the last video was actually translated into the game, and the players really played well. Their fitness levels were up. So going into this preview, I'm going into selecting the team for the game against Bournemouth. I wouldn't make so many changes just because I want the players to build their confidence levels going into the Premier League season. What we want is for the starting players, that's Ruben Amorim's starting players, to actually build their confidence and build some chemistry with their teammates, some confidence going into the season. So that's why I wouldn't change much. So going into the goalkeeper, Andre Onana is obviously injured, so I will have to go with Altai Binder. Altai Binder. And now we go into the three centre backs. So the last game was actually Aiden Heaven, Matthias Delict, and Lenioro. But this game, I would actually make a change to the centre back. Last game was Matthias Delict, but this tour we haven't actually seen much of Harry Maguire. So I would want to see if he's fit enough, like how his fitness levels are, how good he's going to be going into the season, and if he can actually take Delict's place, even though Delict was class against West Ham. I just want to see how good Harry Maguire is. So Harry Maguire, Harry Maguire. Now the right side of the centre back, I will still go with Lenioro because obviously, almost his name, Mazraoui, is still injured. So I would still go with Lenioro. And the left sided centre back, you could choose to pick Luke Shaw, but I would go with Aiden Heaven because I see him as one for the future and actually one that can help us massively going into the season. So Aiden Heaven. And now we go into the wing backs. Right wing back, I would go with still Ahmad Diallo. You can still go with somebody like Diogo Dallo, but I just want to see how Ahmad is defensively, like how good he is defensively. We obviously know we can't question or doubt his abilities going forward, but I want to see if he's good enough defensively to be a solid right wing back in this team. And obviously, the left wing back, I would go with Patrick Dogu. Obviously, Luke Shaw can play here, but he's going into the later stages of his career and he's getting more injury prone. And you know that this left wing back position or the wing back positions in general require someone with a lot of energy, and that's visible in the abilities of Patrick Dogu. So we go with Patrick Dogu. And now we're going to the midfield. Obviously, going into last season, people were saying, I'm so happy that Ugarte and Main are going to make a good duo. They're going to complement each other well, playing in the midfield for Man United. And obviously, last season didn't go quite well. Menu got some injuries and that didn't quite work out. And we didn't really see the dream that United fans had of seeing Menu and Ugarte complementing each other really well. But in the game against West Ham, we were actually able to see a relationship between Menu and Ugarte in the pitch. They actually quite played well together. Obviously, Ugarte is the ball-winning, aggressive, tenacious midfielder, while Menu is more of the ball-playing, creative, and flair midfielder, which actually adds a lot of balance to the team. And Menu actually is good at progressing the ball, getting the balls in this pocket, and just making runs and moving the ball upwards. Very similar to Mateus Cunha in that aspect. So the midfield doesn't change. Go with Manuel Ugarte, and his partner is going to be obviously Kobe Manu. Yeah. Now we're going to the tenth. Now this is actually it's going to be controversial because obviously people say Bruno is the captain, is this that, but I actually want to see how United is going to cope without Bruno because obviously he's the captain. We rely on him a lot, so I want to see how we're going to cope. And it's also going to give a player like Mason Mount a chance to kind of show what he's got, show his abilities, what he can bring into this team. So I will go with Mateus Cunha, and Mason Mount. And then now I want to quickly talk about the striker situation because obviously Man United at the start we said we are either going to get Delap or Gyökeres, but Delap has gone to Chelsea and Gyökeres has gone to Arsenal, who we're going to face in our first game of the season. So, according to reports, Manchester United are in for the striker, obviously, and the names on the list are Oli Watkins and Benjamin Sesko. Now, Benjamin Sesko is obviously a brilliant and talented striker who has done a bit in the Champions League and in the Bundesliga. He has good ball striking abilities, he's really fast, and he's strong, quite similar to Hoyland. I'll get to that. And now Oli Watkins is a proven England international goal scoring striker who has proved it in the Premier League for many years and England in general when he was at Brentford in the Championship. So he has scored a lot of goals for Aston Villa, and many people are saying let's go for Watkins, let's go for Sheshko. But personally, I think future wise, I think we should go for Sheshko. If you want a striker that can potentially become the next big thing, that's going to be maybe your future Haaland or something like that, you should go for Shesko. Now, this is going to be the deal breaker for me. If Aston Villa persists on Oli Watkins for 50 or 60 million pounds, I would not have it. Or let's say 55 to 65 million pounds. If they want any price within that range, I wouldn't go for Watkins because I think he's 29. This is his last contract. And I think for a 29-year-old turning 30 in December, 55 to 65 million pounds is a bit too much. But if Aston Villa is willing to take about 40 to 50 million pounds for Oli Watkins, I would consider it and I would go for Oli Watkins. That's if the price is low. Because you know that this is going to be Oli Watkins' last big contract. So we wouldn't really have a resale value for him. So he has to work out in the Premier League. And you know that Manchester United desperately need an experienced striker to help the likes of Chido and Hoyland to develop. But if Aston Villa persist and keep their price high, it would obviously go for Benjamin Sesko. Benjamin Sesko, he's a brilliant player, proved it in the Champions League, and really rapid forward who can potentially be the next big thing. And I can assure you that if he goes to Newcastle, he's going to do very well. And that is not the same. That is not the case for Manchester United. Because we've obviously seen in the past a lot of top talents come to United and all of a sudden they can't perform under the pressure. And obviously with the likes of Mateus Kenny and Brian Mbemu that have come into the club, it's going to make the work for the striker much more easy. So now Manchester United need to be in Europe, specifically the Champions League. So that's why we go for Oli Watkins because he's a guaranteed Premier League proven striker who you're sure is going to score you goals in the Premier League, even with the likes of Bruno, Mateus Cunha, and Brian Mbemo. But Benjamin Sesko is more of a risk because he hasn't actually played in the Premier League before. And most people are actually forgetting the fact that Benjamin Sesko is actually younger than Rasmus Højlund. He's younger than Rasmus Højlund. And most people say we need an experienced striker to help Rasmus. So why would you go to the market and bring in a striker that's even younger than Højlund? So that doesn't make any sense to me. So I believe if we can get Oli Watkins for a good price between maybe 40 to 50 million pounds, I think that's a fair deal and we should get him. But if they want a high or unreasonable price, we should just go for Sesko and work with what we have and hope that the likes of Mateus Cunha, Brandon Bermo with their experience can help the likes of Hoyland and Sesko and Chido and also Xerxes succeed in Manchester United's front line. But going back into the game, obviously have no other option but Rasmus Hoyland. Yeah, Joshua Zexi is currently injured. Chido is still young. But for this game, obviously Rasmus Hoyland had a good game against West Ham. Some people say he played bad, but actually believe he played really well. Not so well, but he played better considering his season that he had last year. So he played well, got a couple of shots off, ran really well, looks rapid, looks fit, looks agile, looks more confident. Because last season he wouldn't actually take shots, but at least the good thing, the positive thing is that he actually shot. First one hit the bar somewhere off target, but that's actually positive and encouraging that he actually looks more confident. So hopefully going into this game against Bournemouth, he can make his mark and finally score, which is obviously going to reduce the pressure on him. And Bournemouth are really good side. So going into this game, I think this is a really good test for us to see where we are tactically, how the team have adapted to Amorim's system. We could see that some of the tactical work that they worked in training, according to MUTV, that they were replicated in the game. So let's see as we watch this game against Bournemouth if Manchester United actually use more tactics, because I believe there are more Amorim tactics that we haven't seen yet. But this preseason is going to give us the opportunity to see Manchester United in a new way of playing, because Amorim played in a way in Sporting that we actually haven't seen in Manchester United last season. So hopefully this season, with the timing preseason, we're gonna have a good season here. Actually, right here. But all in all, I believe this season is going to be positive. Hopefully, we can see how the team copes against a decent Premier League side, which is Bournemouth. Let's see how the team copes physically, how we cope mentally, because we know that if the team scores us first, obviously in the past our head drops. You could see at that Chelsea game we're winning, but they came back and won on score by my hat trick, stuff like that. Let's see how the players are mentally. Personally, I would want Bournemouth to score first. I would want Bournemouth to score first to see how we're going to cope mentally, to see if we are ready to not let that get to us. I know that we still have some time to turn the game around. I want to see the fight in the team. I want to see some things in the team. I want all the mistakes to happen in preseason so that we can still have time to correct them in the Everton game and the Florentina game before going into the first game of the season against Arsenal and the rest of the season. So yeah, that's my preview. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Good, bad, like, share, subscribe to the channel. Let me know all your opinions, all your thoughts. Turn on the notification bell so that you get informed anytime I upload a video. And yeah, trust the process. When you will be back and we keep growing as a channel. I appreciate all the likes, all the views. Yeah, keep them coming and we'll keep improving. Or I would keep improving as a channel. Yeah, thank you and see you on the next one. Bye.